Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is obviously a radical departure from earlier games in the franchise. FNAF 1 was a dark, subtle game based around maintaining your composure in a horrifying scenario. FNAF 2 removed the doors, your only protection from the first game. The result was a chaotic experience that forced us as players to come face to face with the animatronics all throughout the night. Faster-paced, reflex-based gameplay was added alongside new strategic elements. Yeah, I need to hide from Bonnie, but I also need to wind the music box and I can't handle this. Eventually, a dominant, unfailing strategy was found, and these days, FNAF 2's gameplay is somewhat trivialized. However, on the initial playthrough, it was a blast. FNAF 3 would add remote vents as well as the system error mechanic, further increasing the complexity of the game. It also, for better or for worse, added non-lethal jump scares, further inciting the player to lose their composure.
I dare you to kill me! My breast is exposed! I'm talking about my chest.
FNAF 4 reinvented the series based on audio cues rather than visual ones. Players had to listen closely for the sound of the nightmare animatronics breathing. By compelling the player to focus intently on the screen, as well as requiring them to turn up their volume and listen very closely, jump scares were made even more effective. I actually recently found a secret in this game. If you look very closely right here, you will see a call to action. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Sister Location had some moments I dread to this day. Crawling through Ballora's pitch black gallery while she sings and dances around you was terrifying, and it was a great example of integrating the classic visual gameplay with the audio-based mechanics from FNAF 4. Also, that part where you have to hold the door closed was so tense. FNAF 6, or Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator as it's known, served as the culmination of the original series. It took the best bits from each game and left the more frustrating aspects behind. It integrated the classic Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay in a way that was both fair yet also tense, nerve-wracking, and exciting. Like FNAF 2, FNAF 6 has no doors to protect you. Like FNAF 3, you need to perform tasks while struggling with crappy old computers. The audio design from FNAF 4 is present. Sister Location may have introduced multiple game phases to the series, but FNAF 6 perfected them. Sometimes you're playing the Pizzeria Simulator section and its minigames. Sometimes you're in the classic FNAF mode in the vents, and sometimes you're in salvage mode. This variety of game phases does a great job of breaking up the monotony often associated with playing a FNAF game for too long. Just when you're about to get bored of one phase, the game switches up into a new one, and things become fun and interesting again. Ultimate Custom Night was more of a love letter to the franchise as a whole, and while it added to and perfected a lot of existing mechanics, it didn't make any fundamental alterations. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted was a very cool VR adaptation of the original series, but it's not exactly fair to compare it to more traditional games. The same goes for FNAF AR, of course. Which brings us to Security Breach. As we all know, Security Breach is easily the most terrifying game in the FNAF series, but not because of its gameplay. No, it's all because of the rampant hacking that goes on.
I assume you know what a hacker is, yes?
Freddy gets hacked at the start of the game, Patient 46 is a known hacker, the Glamrock animatronics appear hacked. This whole Pizzaplex is hacked. Imagine for a second that the internet is the Mega Pizzaplex, and you are Gregory. That would make Glamrock Freddy today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. Like Freddy, Atlas will come to your aid when you need them most and protect you from the dangers of the web. It stops annoying ads from tracking you. It protects you from the nasty Gigamonti malware trying to infect your system. How many times have we seen Gregory fall through the world into the void of nothingness beneath the glitchy Pizzaplex? If Gregory had clicked my link in the description for a massive discount on Atlas VPN, that kind of stuff wouldn't happen. Ever go to watch a video or movie only to find it isn't available in your region? No problem, Atlas VPN allows you to circumvent that like a Fazcam in a room full of endos. I've saved hundreds of dollars on airline tickets because of it, and that's serious money. Right now, they're offering FNAF fans a ridiculous discount. We're talking MatPat's craziest theory ridiculous. By using the link in the description, FNAF fans like yourself can get 82% off. Instead of $10.99, it's $1.99. Can you imagine what Gregory would think were he to learn that his entire ordeal might have been avoided for less than the price of a cup of coffee? The trauma he went through during Security Breach might never have even happened had Gregbot and Fazbear Entertainment Systems been protected by Atlas VPN. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's really no risk at all. This offer won't last forever, so please click the link in the description and take a look. Thanks so much Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Okay, so I joked about the game's glitches for a bit there, but the truth is that Security Breach is far and away the most successful FNAF game to date. It sold incredibly well and was priced far higher than any of the games that came before it. While games are indeed art, Scott and Steel Wool are still running a business here, and ultimately the game will be evaluated based on how it performed. Considering Security Breach performed so well, I think it's pretty safe to say that future entries in the Five Nights at Freddy's series will continue to move in the same direction that Security Breach did. Some fans will be thrilled with this. A lot of people really enjoyed Security Breach. Some fans may be less thrilled with this, feeling that the game was too much of a departure from earlier titles. I find myself in the latter camp. I prefer the direction of the old FNAF games compared to the new ones. However, I am still very optimistic for the future of the series, and here's why. I suspect Scott recognized the divide that this shift in direction would cause in the FNAF community, and I think the Fazbear fanverse is the perfect compromise. Even if the series continues to go more and more mainstream, and even if subsequent games are very derivative of Security Breach, Scott can use a portion of the revenue from those projects to fund community-made, independent FNAF stuff. As one might expect, many of these projects do have a darker feel to them. Many are far darker than even the original FNAF games. I think this is a really fair compromise. We aren't getting any new classic-style FNAF games directly from Scott anymore anyway. The series is evolving. Thus, not only can fanverse-funded community projects be a lot darker than the main series, but they can also continue to innovate with the classic Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay formula, the same formula that the main series has obviously moved on from. I know some will wish that Scott just kept making simple independent FNAF games in Click Team Fusion, but this is the reality of where the franchise is at now. Regardless of whether you're a fan of dark, gritty FNAF, the more lighthearted books, or Security Breach, or even if you like all of it, there ought to be something for everybody in the new FNAF franchise. I encourage everyone to please check out FNAF Plus, as well as other existing Fazbear fanverse projects. I also encourage Scott to expand the fanverse outside of games. Why not include all sorts of community content? Art, videos, music, everything. The FNAF franchise will never be the same as it used to be. That's true. However, it could be just as good as it was before. Heck, it could be way better, and I'm optimistic that in time, it will be. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Sponsorships allow me to devote more time and resources to my videos, so the best thing you can do to help me out is to click the link in the description and check out Atlas VPN.